Hello, my name is Kiriath and welcome back to the Monday Roundup. This week you'll be shocked to learn it's all about Horus Heresy. The box is finally dropping, it's gone up for pre-order. We actually get to have all the stuff they've been showing off for the last, how many months? I really can't remember fully how long it's been since they started actually talking about this box. The fact that we've known it exists for as long as we have, with little tidbits of information that have just kind of slowly trickled out over what feels like a vast amount of time. It's probably not been that long. It actually feels a bit weird that we're actually going to be allowed to buy this thing now, and at a not as terrible price as perhaps we might have thought. See, I kind of maintain the idea that even though they said it would be less than £200, it would probably be like £199.99, or something like that. Something a bit cheeky. Now, to be honest, I think that might be a little bit unfair, because historically, if they've said it's going to be under a certain amount, it's never been like, oh, it's 1 penny less, we got you. But, I don't know, there's just so much plastic in this box, and the fact that it's got the rulebook and stuff, and like, it just seemed like this could be one of those moments where you go, yeah, technically, you are correct, but pushing it a little bit. No, this is going to be £180. That's been the price that's shown up from independent retailers that have been that have done their usual thing of telling us what the price is before, like the week before it's available to purchase. So I don't think that is as bad as a lot of us were thinking it would be. It has also been confirmed that this is just the box. This is the entry box. This is the box that you buy to start playing Horus Heresy. There's not been any talk of other boxes with like lesser content being thrown out, the same way that we've got stuff for 40k and AOS, like we've got the different tiers of starter sets. It does seem to be that this is what you buy if you want to get into it. To be fair, there's enough in there to get you started. So let's do a quick refresher of what we've got in this box. So, as you said, the long wait is over and the long war begins. Oh, no, and I like what you did there. Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box with a metric shed load of stuff. So you've got your rulebook, you've got all your transfers for if you're doing Imperial Fists or Sons of Horus. You've got your whippy sticks, some of the most violent and deadly weapons known to man, the whippy sticks. You can properly crack someone with a whippy stick if you really want to. I mean, I suppose it depends on what kind of game you fancy playing on the day. 54 models in there, which, honestly, I mean, 10 Terminators, 40 Tactical Marines, a Contemptor Dreadnought, a Spartan, 2 Praetors. Like, I think that's okay. I think that's a good amount of stuff for this box. So yeah, if you're going to do it the way that they suggest, then you've got the Spartan with 10 Terminators and 10 Tactical Marines, and then you've got the Praetor on the other side, and then you've got a metric shed load of power armor on the other side, and a Contemptor. But let's be honest, I think most people, myself included, are not going to do that. Most people are going to take the content of this box and they are going to paint them as one Legion, because it's like you're going to get the most out of it that way, aren't you? If you're going to split it with a friend and you want to split it that way, then that makes sense to do it that way. But, you know, if you are using this to kind of catapult yourself into the Horus Heresy proper, then yeah, it's going to be a case of painting them all the same colour. Tell you what though, I'm super curious to know, if you're picking this box up and you are going to paint them all the same Legion, what Legion are you going to go for? I'm going to do Word Bearers. I'm going for Word Bearers. I've already started. I've got a few Horus Heresy models lying around that I'm going to be painting up as Word Bearers. I also painted up a Land Raider Achilles Alpha, which I don't think is even in the new the new books, which is kind of disappointing, but luckily there's a lot of community support for the older models. But yeah, I'll be super curious to see what the split is, what people are going to go for starting afresh in the Horus Heresy. So you got all of this. They've got a massive 336-page rulebook, plus the construction guide. Obviously, you'll need that. Although, to be honest, I say you'll need it. It probably won't be too bad. I'm guessing it's going to be fairly intuitive. To be honest, there's only so many ways you can put together a Contemptor. Although, having said that, I have put together quite a few Contemptors in my time, so maybe that's why the idea of needing the instructions to assemble that feels weird to me, just because I've got used to putting the resin ones together, so that one could be significantly different. In fact, in some ways, it most definitely will be, but I imagine these aren't going to be too complex, to be honest. The transfer sheet is a nice idea, but it only applies to those 2 legions, so something to remember with that. There's also the usual incentives for ordering straight from Games Workshop, so you get the reaction token and card set. Fine, 8 metal tokens and a deck of 8 cards. If that is your thing and you would like to go for that, then you can. It's worth pointing out, of course, though, that if you get it from an independent retailer, given that this is not a limited box, you will be saving like between 10 and 25%, depending on where you buy your stuff from. So it will be significantly cheaper going third party. Then there's the Liber Astartes, which is for the loyalists, and then there's the Liber Hereticus. Liber? Either way, you've got your 2 books for whether you're going loyalist or traitor. Obviously, Hereticus is the best one. I'm just saying. I know it might be difficult to hear for some people. There's also the special weapons upgrade set, and and the heavy weapons as well. They haven't mentioned here. That's interesting, because we've got the special weapons there. We've got the heavy weapons, the missile launchers and heavy bolters, but there is another box, and I'm not seeing that other box. In fact, was it one extra box, or was it 2 extra boxes? I can't remember. I can't remember how many extra boxes there are, but I'm sure there's more than just these 2. Yeah, because there's like a big Volkite one as well, and there's one with las cannons, and I wonder where those are going to be. Interesting. Okay, they haven't shown up in the article, so it may be that those were a little bit delayed for whatever reason. There's also the Kratos Heavy Assault Tank, which I absolutely want and need, because look at it, it's solid. And the Deimos Pattern Rhino as well. I'm not sure what the price is for the Deimos Pattern Rhino. I'm just hoping it's not more than 30 quid. I'd like it if they kept the transport option. When I say cheap, we are as always going on the basis of the Games Workshop ecosystem, not cheap compared to other brands, because every time I say that, someone goes, that's not cheap, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's not cheap overall, but when you compare it to other stuff that Games Workshop makes, that could be considered cheap given how much they cost for things like Land Raiders, so on and so forth. We've done this before, you know how it works. I just don't want this to be massively pricey, because that would suck. Paying loads for transports when it is just a transport, I don't like that at all. Looks like they're also bringing in the switched up tactical squad, so you've got the Mark III squad and the Mark IV squad as well, which have been changed from 10 Marines per box to 20, which makes more sense for the Horus Heresy. It'd be really interesting to see what the price increases for those too. Finally, as well, oh man, Ahriman is actually available as a standalone thing. Do you remember this model? Do you remember it? You should do. Well, you might not do. He was in one box years ago and then never saw a reprint. So it's nice that he's finally available. Why it's taken this long, I do not know. There's also a big fold-out map, the Carta Galactica, the Imperium of Mankind, if that interests you. And there's the rest of the Horus Heresy Legion transfer sheets. So if you're not going to do either of the legions in the box, then you will be able to still pick up transfer sheets for them, which is good. And then you've got stuff that you can get from actually in stores. So again, if you fancy a bit of that kind of exclusive stuff, it is available to you. We don't probably need to go through the fact that Primarchs are available. We know this. They're not seeing a re-release or anything. They're just in resin. It's the same things as before. But we do have these upgrade kits as well, which is still Forge World. Nothing in there about like torsos or anything like that. So I'm assuming that is just how it is now. And it's going to be heads, shoulders, and that'll be it. I do know that like a lot of the Legion upgrade stuff has vanished over the last few years and probably won't be making a comeback unless they miraculously decide to do it in plastic. But then would it even be worth them doing it in plastic? Probably not. This is just it'll be the standard, won't it? These in the fancy new packaging. We do have a little bit of Middle-earth action. So we've got Grimbjorn and the Bjornings, and then we've got a bunch of Black Library stuff, which is mostly Horus Heresy. Because, I mean, what else are you expecting? What else are you expecting? We've got a few foreign language releases, and that's about it. Oh, the US Open as well, and whatever's on Warhammer Plus. I'll be honest, I've given up with Warhammer Plus now. I use the apps, and that's the only reason I pay for it at this stage. That's it. I just don't get much use out of it. And every time I think we should like have a little chat about where it is now, its current state, I don't even have the motivation to load it up to see what else there is. which is probably all the review you need, to be totally honest, but then again, maybe it's just not meant for me, you know? Maybe it's just not made for me. So yeah, essentially what we've got is a metric shed load of more Marines, but Horus Heresy flavoured instead. I'd be really interested to see how well that box does, given how much excitement there is around it. I mean, to be honest, even I've got caught up in it. I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into it, and I kind of initially thought that I wouldn't be that bothered. I've said for quite a while that if there was a way of doing, well, when we have like with Burning of Prospero and Betrayal at Calth, like, those felt like good ways to just dive in, and it's felt like that hasn't been the case for a while. There's not been a set that you could just grab and then there you go, you've got a good chunk of army. I've kind of felt like it's been neglected for a long time, and I have quite a few good friends who play Heresy who kind of enjoy it and are really invested, but haven't felt that it's been getting the attention it deserves. It's suddenly being shown that attention. It like suddenly having that kind of care and time put into it, and what feels like an actual serious push to make it bigger and to introduce new people. I don't know, I think it's kind of galvanised quite a few people, including myself, because I have kind of said before I've wanted to get into it, but not really felt like it's getting that love, and now it is. It's a lot harder to resist the urge to do that because now it actually feels like they care. I guess it's just a lot easier to get into a system if you don't feel like that system is permanently on life support and not really being looked after by the company that makes it, you know? Anyway, are you going to be grabbing the box? If you grab the box, what legions or legion are you going to go for? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.